All right, we're about to explore something that kind of turns our whole modern idea of success completely upside down. It's an ancient story about finding some serious strength, not in power, but in weakness. So let me ask you this. In a world that is obsessed with size, with influence, with being the biggest and the best, what does real strength even look like? I mean, really look like? The answer? Well, it's probably not what you're thinking. Okay, so in the book of Revelation, Jesus speaks to 7 different churches. And for most of them, it's kind of like a performance review, you know? A little bit of, hey, good job here, but also, you really need to fix this. But then there's this one church in a place called Philadelphia. And they just stand out. Why? Because they were small, they were weak. Honestly, by any worldly standard, they were completely unimpressive. And yet, they received nothing but praise. Zero correction. None. How does that even happen?
Well, this gets us to the heart of it, a completely different measure of success. See, while other churches were out there chasing prominence, trying to make a name for themselves, Philadelphia was just focused on one thing: perseverance. And this shows us something huge. Heaven's scoreboard doesn't measure fame or size, it measures faithfulness.
And this right here, this is the core of it all. Jesus looks at this tiny, struggling group and says, I see you. I know you have little strength. I know you're not a powerhouse. But, he says, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. It's incredible. He acknowledges their weakness right up front. It wasn't some hidden flaw. It was the very stage where their profound loyalty was on full display. So, and this is so important to get, that phrase, little strength, isn't a criticism. It's not a flaw. It's just a recognition of reality. It's acknowledging our human limits. And it's in that exact space, right where our own power runs out of gas, that God's power has the room to show up. Their faith wasn't loud or flashy. It was simply loyal. And that, it turns out, was everything. And this quiet, stubborn loyalty? Well, it had a massive payoff. This church was given a promise of an incredible, unstoppable opportunity, unlocking something that worldly power could never, ever touch. This is the principle, right here. It's a total game changer. Jesus tells them, look, I have set before you an open door. And the best part, no one can shut it. Not a person, not a government, not any force on this earth. Just think about that. Their simple act of just holding on, of being faithful when it was hard, opened a door to a divine opportunity that was unstoppable. So what were these incredible promises? Well, it wasn't wealth or an easy life. It was something so much better. An open door no one could shut. Being made a pillar in the temple of God. Talk about permanent security. A crown that cannot be seized. Nobody can take that from you. A new name written in heaven. A whole new identity. And finally, a permanent security that cannot be shaken. You see, the reward wasn't an escape from hardship, but a permanence forged through it. But this isn't just some dusty, ancient story. The spirit of Philadelphia is absolutely alive today. You see it in people whose faith is forged in the fires of real trial. Their lives take this principle from the pages of history and make it a living, breathing reality for us, right now. I mean, think about someone like Corrie ten Boom, a watchmaker's daughter who, along with her family, hid Jews from the Nazis and was sent to a concentration camp for it. In that absolute pit of darkness, she watched her own sister die, but her faith endured. She had little strength, for sure, but her steadfast trust in God in that place became a radiant light. She lived this reality. And we see it today, right now, in the underground church. In places like China or Iran, believers meet in secret. They whisper their hymns, knowing that being discovered could mean prison or even death. They have zero earthly power, but they are filled with a joy and a life that is absolutely undeniable. They are the modern-day Philadelphia. And this presents us with a really stark contrast. 2 different models. For the underground church, the source of power is complete divine dependence. Scripture is precious as gold. Joy is found in suffering. And success is measured by endurance and faithfulness. Then you have the comfortable church. Here, the source of power can become human influence. The Bible can end up neglected on a shelf. Joy becomes dependent on ease. And success is measured by attendance and abundance. It's a powerful comparison to think about. So this ancient letter becomes a mirror for us today. It forces us to ask some really hard questions about our own assumptions, especially for those of us in the West,
about what a blessed and successful church really looks like.
And this visual just nails it, doesn't it? We so often measure success by worldly metrics, bigger buildings, bigger budgets, bigger crowds. That's the high bar. But heaven's measure is different. It's that solid, unwavering bar of faithfulness and endurance, even if it looks small to the world. And here's the sober warning for us. We have mistaken comfort for God's blessing. We've confused luxury with God's favor. And let's be honest, our desire for an easy life has often crippled our conviction. Our fear of inconvenience has silenced our faith way too many times. But here's the beautiful turnaround. Weakness is not failure. It is not the end of the story. It is an open invitation for God's strength to show up in our lives. The small, the humble, the people the world overlooks, those are God's heroes. This was the final charge to that faithful church, and it echoes to us today. The command isn't to get stronger or bigger or more impressive. It's simply to hold fast, to endure. The reward, the crown, it's for steadfastness, not for worldly strength. And so, that leaves us with this question to really chew on. It's a challenge to reevaluate everything. Are we measuring our lives by the things we can build, accumulate, and control? Or is our success measured by our quiet, steadfast endurance and faithfulness when no one is watching? The answer to that? Well, it changes everything.